Well, hello, and thank you so much for being a sponsor of the Self Care to Wellness Bundle. I'm so excited to talk with you because today I am here with Tamika Leon, who is the Goal Success Coach. And we're going to get into a little bit about what Tamika does and why she's so passionate about being able to help corporate women with stress management and self care. What actually drew you into the world of self care and stress management in the first place?
Hey, Cassandra. So for me, I'd say the biggest piece was what I was going through myself. It was like so many different things, like a cascade of just like so many events back to back that I didn't even like it was just happening and I didn't take the time to really process everything. But it was like I had turned 35. And I know like looking back, I'm like, wow, I wish I was still 35. But I had turned 35 and I had never even thought about my age before that. But it's like I turned 35. I found out that I had a ton of fertility issues. I was changing jobs at work because our company had been acquired by a much larger company. So
Mhm.
I was changing my role. And with that came a huge identity change because by that point, I was the expert in what I was doing. And I switched to something that I had no experience in.
Oh,
So I went
man.
from being the expert to literally feeling like I was learning to crawl. Not even
Oh,
learning to walk. I felt like I was learning to crawl again.
that could be really
So,
difficult. Yeah.
yeah. So I had that. And then all of a sudden, I started noticing like all the younger girls in the office. I'm like, I used to have that energy. I used to be that skinny. And it's just like all of the comparisons. So it's just like all of that just kept combined. And then I was trying to learn my job. On top of all of that, I was like just overwhelmed. And I
Wow.
didn't really understand what was happening. I just knew that I wasn't happy, like to everybody else, because the new role was a promotion. And
Okay.
at that time, because there were so many things happening for me, that was like my third promotion in less than 2 years. So
Wow.
to everybody else, it's like, oh, you're doing amazing. But to me, I felt miserable.
Hmm.
And I was like, what is going on? I'm supposed to be climbing the corporate ladder. I'm doing all the things. Everybody else says I'm successful, but I don't feel successful.
Yes. Yes. That then
So
a
it
lot of
was,
times that happens when you have too much on your plate and it all happens really quickly.
there was a point for me where I started getting migraines every day.
Mhm.
And I woke up one morning and I was sitting on the edge of my bed, just staring at the wall. And I'm like, I can't go in today. I can't do this. I'm tired. I'm like, I don't know how long I sat there, probably like 5 minutes, but it felt like forever.
Mhm.
I picked up my phone. I sent an email. I was like, I have a migraine. I cannot come in today. As soon as I put my phone down, the migraine went away. That was my first clue. So I was like, okay, there's something here. What's going on? And that was actually when I first started journaling. That was my very first day of writing in a journal. I took that time. I was like, why do I feel like this? And I just kept writing and writing. Like 4 pages later, at the end, I was like, I want to help other women who are going through the same thing.
Mhm.
And that's the point when I decided that I wanted to start a business. But it was at that point when I was like, I want to help other women who are going through something similar.
Yes, yes, no, I absolutely positively can relate because I had a similar circumstance that made me want to create Master Your Stress. And I think that you're right. A lot of women are feeling stressed and overwhelmed and just have so much put on their plate and on their shoulders, and they don't know where to start to
Yeah.
feel better. And they're like, oh, like you said, everyone else is looking from the outside going, oh, you've got it made. You've got like the best life. You should be happy. But inside, you're like, why, why,
Yes.
why? And crying. So I absolutely can relate to that. Tell us a little bit about your organization, what you do, and what work is it that you're the most passionate about right now?
I have a limited space right now for working one-on-one with clients. I have a few courses available. The main focus is on setting goals and making plans to help you achieve those goals and making sure that, like for me, the biggest piece of creating a plan to achieve your goal is
Mhm.
to build self-care into that plan.
Yes.
I have that. And then one of the things that really helped me once I started learning more about, okay, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm doing, what's going on, was I read the book Do Less by Kate Northrup. And
Okay.
that's what got me into cycle-based planning. So I have a couple courses that talk about that. I have one that's really just understanding your cycles and
Mm.
how your energy changes throughout your cycles and
Mhm.
creating plans based on that. And then I have another course that talks about how to set boundaries and using that information to help you in your when you're working.
Okay.
Because no matter how you look at it, as women, we have cycles. We have a lot of cycles. We
That's
need
true.
to understand we need to understand those cycles and we need to understand how to make them work for us because no matter what, we're going through it. We don't have to be miserable.
I love that. We do not have to be miserable. I
No.
have to reiterate that because I think so many women are just so used to just kind of trying to slog along during the
Yeah.
day that they feel like, well, this is it, like this is what life has to be like. And no, Tamika said it. You do not. You do not have
No.
to be miserable. I love it. Well, you definitely are a busy entrepreneur. So for you, what does self-care really look like in your daily life? Not an ideal version of it. Like, what does it actually look like? What's one realistic self-care practice that for you makes a noticeable difference in your life?
For me, there's actually two. The first one and the main one is journaling. For me to really feel like I'm starting my day organized, I have to get all my thoughts out of my head. Once they're out of my head, it's like, okay, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I need to do. Let me go ahead and do this.
Mhm.
Now, I don't journal every day. It really goes based on how I feel. Most days I journal. Some days I just get up and I'm like, I'm not doing anything today.
I love that because I think a lot of times a lot of women feel when it comes to self-care, and especially if it's something like journaling, that it's something that has to be done each and every single day. And if you're not doing this thing that you've planned every day, that you're kind of failing. So I really like the fact that you said that I do it when I feel like it. On days when I'm really feeling like it, then I will journal. Maybe you'll journal 4 pages in that one
Yep.
day. And then other days you're like, you know what? No, not today. I'm not doing this. And guess what? It's okay. You don't beat
Yeah.
yourself up about it and you just go on. I love that.
It's one of those things, and it even comes down to like eating, because everybody's trying to be healthy. I'm like, I want to be healthy, but I want to enjoy my food. So if I have a day where I want McDonald's, I don't do McDonald's often, but I'm like, if I want McDonald's and it's a craving that I've had for a while, it's like I'm gonna give myself that grace and go get some McDonald's. I might feel sick a little bit later, but I'm gonna enjoy it while I have it.
There's nothing wrong with that because, again, life is too short to completely deprive yourself out of things
Yes,
all the time that give you joy. I can understand
yes.
that. I love it. I love it. And so, women, I think a lot of women sort of have a struggle when it comes to self-care. And when they're doing it, like, what do you believe is usually kind of happening underneath the surface of that struggle?
Guilt
That's a big one.
most of the time because like growing up, we always saw our parents were always doing something. And if you weren't doing something, a lot of times they're like, well, how come you? I mean, sometimes they would just let you play, but then sometimes it's like all of this stuff needs to be done. Rest wasn't a part of, it really just wasn't a part of the plan. It wasn't something that they thought of as being productive. It's like there are things that need to be done. You don't get to rest until you've done everything. The
Yes.
reality is, everything is never going to be finished.
That's true.
So you need to build in rest. But I think because of how we grew up and because we can constantly see the things that need to be done around us, we feel like we should be doing something. I don't know about the younger generations. I can say like for our generation and the older ones, as women, we're basically taught that we need to be taking care of everybody around us.
Yes. All the time. All
Yes.
of the
It's like
time.
it's like you're the only way that you can be a good mom is if you completely sacrifice yourself. Or the
Mhm.
only way that you're an amazing wife is if you completely sacrifice yourself for everything that your spouse wants. It's like, no, I'm my own person. Like
Exactly.
he has his dreams that he's working towards. I have my dreams that I'm working towards. We support each other, but no, we are individuals.
Yes, no, I love that. It's true. I think that you're absolutely right. We're so used to all the self-sacrifice that we don't know what to do with ourselves when we have a moment to take care of
Yeah.
ourselves. What do you think is one mindset shift that women can do to help themselves prioritize their self-care without feeling that guilt that you were talking about?
It's going to take a little while for the guilt to go away, But the thing that helped me was blocking out time for self-care in my calendar.
Love it.
So I had it blocked specifically for that time, and that helped me because I blocked this time specifically for this activity. I can now plan if I know that I have things that might need to be done around that time. I can now plan ahead and get those things done early.
Mm.
Or if they can be pushed out, I can push them out, or somebody else can do it. I have it put in my calendar. This is my self-care time. But on top of that, I added a notification so my self-care time is Friday evening. I added a notification starting Thursday morning
I love
to
it.
say, you have self-care time coming up. Now, at first, I did feel guilty. At first, in my head, I'm like, oh, I should be doing this. I should be doing this. I should. And then I was just like, I just let it run as I was binging something on like Netflix or YouTube or whatever. I just let it run. It took me a few weeks, but I did eventually get to the point. It's like, no, I have this in my calendar because it's important. And then I started planning. It's like, what am I going to do? It gave me something to look forward to. What am I going to do during my self-care time?
I love it. There's just like so many different layers and levels to this. I like because this is something that I do as well. I like the fact that you said that you scheduled it because I think that helps you to be able to see that your self-care time is just as important as any other appointment.
Yes.
Having the time to yourself is just as important as going to the doctor or
Yep.
making sure the bills are paid. It's important. But I love that you said that you put a notification on your phone to remind you about the self-care so that way it doesn't kind of get lost in the shuffle. I
Yep.
love that. That is like another level of being able to add the self-care. And then I also like what you said that yes, you did feel guilty at first because, it was something new, it was something that you weren't used
Yeah.
to doing, but you were like, I'm just gonna let that run and I'm still gonna do what it
Yep.
is I'm doing to take care of myself. Love it. I love it so much. Tell us about the resource that you contributed to the self-care to wellness bundle. Like, what is it? Who is it for? What kind of problem does it help solve?
So what I'm contributing is called Optimize Your Time. It's a time management course for women. It's about cycle-based planning. It helps women understand what the cycles are, and it is based off of what I learned from Kate Northrup's book, but I focus on how you can incorporate that into your schedule and how you can use that information to build a plan to help you achieve your goals. Go through the different cycles because you have a productivity cycle, you have your menstrual cycle, then you also have to consider the seasons and you have to consider like your how your cycles change throughout the week, actually throughout the day, throughout the week,
Mhm.
throughout the month, and throughout the year. So
Oh,
one of the biggest things is Kate North, and it's so funny because she's like, yeah, like summertime is when everybody has the most energy, and then winter, the seasons, that's when everything is dead. So that's really when everybody has the lowest energy. I am the complete opposite. But that's why it's important for you to sit down and understand your cycles.
yes, 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 because we are all individuals and we're
Yes.
all a little bit different. So after someone uses your resource, what do you hope feels different for them?
For them to give themselves grace when they need to, because once I learned all of the cycles, that helped me give myself grace. It was instead of me pushing during the time of the month when I really just didn't have it in me to push,
Mhm.
I was able to prepare for that time. So like at work, I have certain things that always seem to fall during the worst time of the month for me to but because I know that they're coming up, I'm able to prepare myself ahead of time so that when that time does come and I still need to be productive, I'm able to be productive without completely draining all of my energy or needing like 5 million energy drinks because I went through that phase. Spent a lot of money on 5-hour energy.
And we definitely want to help you stay away from doing that.
Yes, yes.
That leads to a whole nother set of issues.
Think that's the biggest thing is understanding what your cycles are so that you can give yourself grace when you need to, like when you have those times where it's like, I just need more rest right now. Give
Mhm.
yourself time for that extra sleep. If you can't do anything else, meal prep when you have the energy for it, so that way when you get to that point, you're not in the kitchen, one, trying to figure out what you're going to cook. And then taking everything out, doing all the prep, doing all the cooking, then doing, that's a lot of hours.
Oh my gosh, so much work.
You don't even think about that. But we were doing like meal deliveries and we did, what was it, Factor.
Mm.
Literally, we went through all of the meals that we had. We pulled the one that we wanted, put the rest in the fridge, threw it in the microwave. We might have like a few extra things that we add to it, but then I'm like, the only thing I need to wash is the utensils.
Like, well, and that gives you so much time back in your day.
Yes, it really did. It's also the decision fatigue. I had so much more energy. So it was time and energy that just doing something that simple gave me. So it's
Wow.
like understanding when you can have those
Mhm.
times, understanding when you have the energy to do a million things in like 2 hours, use that time to set yourself up for when you have the energy to do half of one thing all day.
I love it. So it sounds like you're helping people put themselves up for success and to
Yes.
plan for it. Love it. So what are you currently building or excited about?
I am considering writing a book.
Do it, do
It would be related to the cycle-based planning. It'll probably lean more toward corporate women because that's my experience.
it.
You're not writing like a series of children's books. Be related to my current travels, but it'll be along the vein of feel the fear and do it anyway.
I love it. I say go for it. Do it. You can do it. I'll be like one of the first people like, can I have buy a copy of your book? We cannot wait. Well, if people want to stay connected to you, how can they do that?
Instagram at the Goal Success Coach. I'd say the best way though is my YouTube. I've started doing what I call balanced success conversations where I'm talking to
Oh,
like a
yes.
panel of women, of course, you know, because you are one of them, talking to women who have different experiences around self-care and around burnout and understanding what worked for them, sharing tips and helping other women and opening up that conversation. That is balanced success with Tamika.
It has been a pleasure to spend this time just talking with you about what it is that you do and the way that you help women. I really, really have enjoyed it and can't wait to learn more about your course on cycle-based planning and help me to be able to figure out how to prioritize things based on the energy that I have for the different seasons. So thank you so very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Cassandra, and I can't wait to see how amazing the rest of this bundle is.